Okay, so here is the brand new 2023 Outlander Pro HD 7 XU. There's also a Pro 5, which is the 500cc, even though both machines are built on the same 650cc single cylinder motor. Can-Am went away from with this section with the mid-range ATVs. They went away from the V-twin and started to do this single cylinder, much improved ATV in my opinion. So we'll start from the front and go from there. Front on the Pros, they come with the Pro, or the Pro style bumper that you would get. They all come with the square HD headlights now, the LEDs. My machine right now, I have the winch I bought separate, hooked up with the Haas Fairlead, and I'm waiting for a buddy of mine to come help me wire that up on Saturday. Today's Wednesday, so we're going to do that. I've also already added the Copen steel tool racks / gun rack / crossbow rack. Yes, I have to use a crossbow because of my many injuries. Either way, get back to the machine now. Yeah, that's the big differences in the front with the Pros. They come with the big bumper, but like I said, all the models from 23 up are coming with the LED headlights. This model, I'll show you what it has, that the Pro 7 base model doesn't have. First, with the wheels and tires, they come with Trail King XPS tires, 26" by 8" by 12, with the blacked out aluminum wheels. You can see the name Outlander Pro XU. Like I said, we'll go around. I'll get to the dash and everything else that it has once we do the walk around, I should say. So it has a different kind of rack in the back here. Everything is link compatible. If you know anything about Can-Ams, you know what the link is. It's these plugs right here that basically lock any link accessory to it. They have these that they fit the Sea-Doo and the Ski-Doo stuff that BRP does also, so they're all interchangeable. So if you have a Sea-Doo machine that's newer and an ATV or snowmobile, all those link accessories will match up. There's also, in this bottom area, the way they open this is there's two pre-drilled holes here and here. Not pre-drilled, but pre-tapped. So you can drill and put in the link brackets so you can hook up the smaller link accessories like the link fuel tanks that come in different sizes. And that's about it for that. Like I said, it all matches up to everything that's BRP. Also on the rear, it comes with the bumper, the big strong bumper steel. I put on the 2-inch hitch and ball, but you can see underneath there they really beefed up. Sorry about that. They really beefed up the receiver part of it, so you can run a Groundhog Max. Unlike the old style 570s that I had to change out the hitch itself so that I could go ahead and use the Groundhog Max that I use for tearing dirt up, and that I'll be using a little bit this year on some food plots. The reason I wanted to upgrade, and I think this is very important, is if you haven't seen any of the Can-Am intro videos from 23 when they changed the platform, of course this is March of 24. I just purchased this vehicle as it's a 23 because it was a leftover machine, and I got it at a really great price. So look around at your dealers, see what they have left if you're in the market for a new ATV. If you're a Can-Am person, you know most of this stuff and you've researched it, but when I bought this machine, there was not much on YouTube about it. They went to an actual tubular frame And you see by the sides, I put on mirrors too that I had from the other machine, and a trickle charge. I had them put that on. Does not come with it, so make sure you ask your dealer for it. Let me see. All right, going into that, I forgot to mention in the front, they do have storage. This opens up, and it has a turn right there that helps it stay up. Your toolkit is up here now instead of in the back on the old ones. It comes with, of course, your book, my paperwork, the link accessories. You can do that in here too. You can take this cover off completely with just removing this cable right here and pulling it off. The one really neat thing that I did buy, and I haven't mounted it yet, is you'll see this little rectangle, and what happens is, well, there's a drain in this too, so you always got a drain if you want to use this for a cooler or whatever. Anyway, you take the cover off, there's a link accessory for chainsaws. There's on other videos on YouTube, you might see it in you'll see it in the intro that Can-Am, the official intro that Can-Am did on these machines a year ago. But I thought that was a really cool way to get your chainsaw to ride. Basically what it does is you stick the blade down there, there's a scabbard that comes with it, and it sits on the side right here and comes over, and you just slip your chainsaw right down into it, and you lock it, and it's secure. And then you have all the rest of the front and rear rack. All right, with some technical specifications, like I said, this is a 650cc machine that's been tuned to 700. It's probably approximately 686 if I believe what they had told me and what I had researched. Let me see. From there, of course, anybody that knows Can-Am knows their shifters on the right, but it was always a jerky thing. Here's where they have improved the most in my book. You can take the handle and move it freely the way it's supposed to work. From reverse to park to neutral to high. I'm coming at it from a bad angle, but you can see how easy it is. It just goes up and down. No more of that jerking around while you're on it. All right. I think, some of the other things that you'll find online that it mentions is it has class leading pretty much everything for a work quad. It's got 9.75 inches of travel up front in the suspension, and it's got 10.25 inches of travel in the rear of suspension, which outdoes every machine out there. You name the brand, it outdoes it. It also, the Pro models are tuned for work. The XU actually has a work and a performance mode. But in work and performance, you can tow the same amount, doesn't matter. The base model, the XU, and the Hunting Edition all have the same kind of setup. This thing can tow up to 1,800 pounds, which is 400 to 500 pounds more than any other machine out there. I think that's one of their best improvements. The rear rack can hold 240 pounds, and the front rack can hold 120 pounds. Now, with that said, I've used my other ATVs, and I've put 150 pound deer up front and pulled them out of the woods like that. Because I am disabled, I don't have any help when I bow hunt or really gun hunt anymore. So I got to do a lot of stuff with machines, machinery, winches, stuff of that nature. So that's why this is such an important tool for me. It can do so many different things all season long. I'll eventually be getting a plow for it, my old moose, some other type of plow. Hopefully something I can afford, because I don't want to be throwing $1,000 into a snow plow, but it does really help me when we get heavy wet snows here in Wisconsin to be able to plow. And the 570 I had did a great job for everything I needed it for, but it was time after this new build to look into getting this, and I ended up getting it. The single biggest reason, well, there's two big reasons. The single biggest reason was because they redesigned the motor. Like I said, it's a single cylinder, and it comes through the center, and goes out straight out the back. Therefore, you've got no more heating up your leg like you did with the old Outlanders, where if you were riding in the summer at all, you were stopped or riding slow or doing any kind of work, it would burn up your leg. So yeah, it's under the seat. You can tell there's no battery here. They moved it, but they did a smart thing. They wired everything up tight, and they added your post right there for adding accessories, negative right here, and then they put up 4 separate spots where you could put that. Another thing they have is a glove box up front. Now, with the Pro base model, you do not have the phone holder or the USB. That will, there's actually 2 USBs in here. I don't know if you can see that. Right there, to charge your phone. Comes with a magnet that you can stick on here. And you can see it just dove right on my arm, and stick it to your phone, and you can set your phone in there like this and charge it while you're riding, which I think is just ingenious. How many times you're out in the middle of the woods, you don't have much service at all, and it tends to suck a lot more battery out of you than you had. So that's that. It stays open, but there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws, and this part comes off so that you can get under here, and I'll show you how to take off the screen now. It's 2 knobs. Come over to the right side, and then there's a little button right here. See if you can see it, and your whole thing just pops right off. Now, what if I don't have that in the way? Now, you flip that up out of the way. Look at what's right all in there and up, sitting up higher. Both your vents, clutch vent and your airflow tank or airflow vent. Then under here, 2 little clips. Trying to do this with one hand, it's not that easy. Okay. This, take that off. There's your air filter. It's also very easy to take that air filter out and clean and check your pre-filter on the outside. Like I said, you're going to wire anything up. This all comes apart with 2 easy little steps. And now for even better, check oil and do everything else, you do that one little clip right here. It comes up and down. You do that as long as the seat is off. It just comes right off. And you can check your oil right here. You can see where your lines are. And on the other side, it's the same way. We'll go ahead and take that off. And that's how you get to your belt. It's all sealed. So you got these nuts to take off. That's all in your toolkit in case you break a belt. But this is supposed to be, it's a P-drive system. And what that is you could take twice as long to do service than you could on the older machine, on the old machines. Meaning if you needed service every 25 hours, you can wait until 50 hours, depending on how you're working the machine. Now, some of you out there are just going to stay with what you know, and you're going to do your maintenance when you're going to do your maintenance, and that's totally fine too. For me, it makes it so much easier to get to the stuff I got to get to. If I got to repair something, everything is right there. And running accessories, like I said, you start from there, or you start from the winch, and you can take this off with 6 screws, hex screws. That front speedometer all comes off, so you can wire everything you want All your breather lines are right here. They're all zip tied together. Everything's nice and neat. You can see down there, you can wire everything you have to underneath, right to there. And if you want, this little black piece right here actually comes off with just, it's a couple of clips, those soft clips that you see on your cars and stuff, and it pulls off with this. I'm not going to pull it off right now because I'm one-handed, but you get the drift, and that you can do that on both sides. So look at how much more open everything is, and it's tight. It's where it needs to be. It's got the plastic A-arm guards. The other thing these come with is the skid plate. It's a polyethylene skid plate, which just means stronger than regular plastic or metal. It's not going to bend on you or anything like that. I know I'm probably saying a lot, but I'm trying to think of all the stuff this machine has that my older one didn't. My 2018, the Gen 2. This is a Gen 3 Can-Am Outlander. And here you can see the single Rotax motor. Right in here is your cap and your spark plugs. It's still a dual overhead cam system. If you want to remove any of this, 2 hex screws right there, and you can easily remove this plate right here. I haven't had a need to remove it yet, but I'm sure there is. Now, you're probably all asking where the battery is. Well, on the right side, down below, it's right here, tucked behind or in front of the rear spring and out of the way and up high. Just like pretty much everything they've done on this machine. This one sits higher, even though it's got 26-inch tires, compared to the Pro base model. That's 25s, I believe. We'll get into the other stuff once I sit down and show you the rest of it once I put this together. So I'm going to put this together and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. As you can see, I put the speedometer back on, close that up, close the sides up, put the seat on. One thing, always remember, if you're going to take the sides off, make sure you take the seat off first. Otherwise, it won't come off. And it's just like every other ATV. Back here is a handle. Lift it up, pull it out of the way, and it actually goes back on. Way simpler. Click that down, you're back on. All right, to get into the performance and work aspects of this, I'll climb up and show you guys the readout, the digital display, and what everything goes through. The Pro base model does not have this on here or the space for a winch, whereas the only thing that the hunting edition gives you is the camo paint, a Can-Am 3,000-pound steel winch. Use them at your will. I've switched over to nylon on my winches and have been very impressed. And it also has the floorboards are the same, but underneath there's actually underneath the machine, the skid plate extends out underneath the floorboards on both sides, where the base and the XU here doesn't. Those are the 3 differences between this and the hunting model. The Pro model has the same specifications as the other 2 models, this one and the hunting, meaning it can pull 1,800 pounds. It has 240-pound rear rack capacity and a 120-pound front rack capacity, and it only has 1 mode. So what I mean by mode is the engine mode, which in this machine is a huge difference between work mode, work off, and sport mode. So with that, I'll get this on. This one in a hunting comes with a pull-out. It's just like the wave runners they have in snowmobiles. So if you want to attach a lanyard to yourself in case you fall off or whatever, this pulls out and it will kill the engine. So that doesn't need to be turned on at any position. It's just ready. There's a magnetic piece in there. And if you do buy this, make sure you test drive it, or at least have it started up for you, and have the guy explain to you, and make sure that they have the right key for your machine if you get the XU or the hunting edition. Because they usually ship with the one key, but just make sure. So to start it, instead of turning a key and turning the on-off switch, or just the on-off switch, push on, and you see the readout doesn't say anything. You hit the reverse override button, and it goes through its programming. I don't know if you could hear the EFI kick on. This model and the hunting edition do have the dynamic power steering. I forgot to mention that. That was huge on the 570 I had. Me having a shattered elbow and everything, and doing plowing and slow work like that, you want something with power steering. It's, in my opinion, well worth the extra whatever they charge, $700-800. But for now, we're just going over this model. So you can see the display, and that green button with the reverse override is your start button. So we'll start it up. And I don't know if you can hear, but it's quieter than the V-twin. It's not nearly as loud. It's a nice drone. You can see, hope you can see, we are in park, and it gives you the RPMs on the bottom. You can switch all through these with the buttons up here. The clock is actually right. It's in two-wheel drive, and it's got the temperature on the right. With that said, I'm going to go over a little bit with the intelligent engine braking and the speed limiter that this has on it, which is pretty much short for cruise control on an ATV. It's about the closest you can come as you can come to having cruise control, which is great for food plotting. If you're spraying or seeding or doing any of that stuff, you can set the speed, and you can mash the throttle, and whatever that speed is, it will not go over that speed. All right, so we're going to start. Okay, something went wrong with my camera. So we're going to get back into this, and I believe I left you off with the intelligent engine braking. Like I said, you can set it for minimum, medium, and max. Go over to your right here. You can see it says speed limiter. XL here, and then turn it off is back here. There's a button. And what it'll do on here is you want to hit the button, it says limit 5. That's your lowest limit. Then to adjust it lower, you hit the finger spot behind the box. To accelerate it or move the speed limit up, you just keep hitting it. 7. And you can keep hitting it all the way up to, you hear me just tapping it. I guess 43 is what you can get out of it. The machine goes faster than that, believe me. But as far as the cruise control goes, 43 is as high as it'll go. To turn it off, just use the finger part in the back. I'll show you that later. It actually shows off on the back. And what we'll do, Ellie, get over here. You just hit, you hold it down, and it goes back to nothing, or turn it back on. You can hear it, and it resets to 5. And for food plotting, for me, for my spray tank and that, 5 to 6 miles an hour is where I always want it set. So that's what we're doing with that. That's pretty much everything with the controls that the Pro HD 5 and 7 have as far as the XU and the hunting edition. Like I said, the Pro HD 5 and HD 7 are just a different tune motor depending on what your needs are. The base model is a very good model. the machine itself is basically identical to this machine. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off now so you can hear me. And you can see, before I do that, you can see as we've been sitting here, it shows your coolant. It'll also show, like I said, we'll go through this a little more. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the speed limiter. There, it's off. That is your voltage on the bottom that's showing right now. Hit the bottom button. Settings. RPMs, 1250, 1300, that's about where it goes at. I like to keep it on that. It has a speed stat. It'll have your average miles an hour and your top miles an hour. I haven't ridden this much. It's only got a few, maybe an hour. It's got your engine temp. 136. Battery voltage, 14.4. I always keep my machines, my Can-Ams anyway, on a trickle charger because I don't run my machines every day. This machine will be going up north to my small property, my small little flooded 5 acres that I have up in central Wisconsin, and there it will be doing a lot of work this year. I'll be doing some land management and some food plotting on a fellow veteran, disabled veteran's acreage. I'll also be doing some other stuff to help him out because he's hurting pretty bad, and that's kind of what this channel is all about. I want to be able to help other veterans out, whether it be by you watching my videos and hearing something that you need to hear that day, or seeing that you can do something that you didn't previously think you could do in the outdoors. I know way too many vets that, especially up north here in the winter months, we tend to sit inside and we don't do, sorry, I just cut the machine off because it was might have been a little loud for the volume here. We'll see when I edit the video. But there's my dog Ellie. There's another dog barking across the street, and that's what she's paying attention to right now. When she's not in vest, she is a she's still my service dog, but she's a dog, and she does dog stuff. Anyway, getting back to the machine, I believe I've covered in depth everything there is to cover about the new platform as far as the mid-sized ATV goes for Can-Am. I am a Can-Am fanboy, but I was a ATV Safety Institute instructor in the military, and I have those habits with me forever, just by teaching so many classes for safety's sake. I've seen way too many people underestimate their machines, drink and drive on it, go 2-up on a 1-up machine. First of all, for that and for the drinking and everything else, it's not legal in most states, so don't do it. I understand a lot of you guys have farms and other stuff, but I just ask, don't try not to go 2-up on machines that aren't built for 2-up. Can-Am sells machines that are built for 2 people. So if you're going to be plan on riding with 2 people a lot, and especially if you're going to be going on any kind of public trails almost anywhere in the country, you need to have a machine that has the separate foot peg for a passenger. Mine does not. And it'll have the backrest and extra seat for the passenger. That's just my safety briefing for the day. You vets know what I mean with safety briefings. I'm not huge into safety as far as everything goes, but I do tend to try to protect myself while I'm on an ATV. When I'm doing food plots, stuff like that, and plowing, you're not going to see a helmet on me, just because of the speed I'm going, and I'm not in any danger of, really hurting myself or flipping the machine, or hitting anything. But when I'm out trail riding or monkeying around on property or whatever, I will have a helmet on. I also wear eye protection if I'm not wearing a helmet, especially when I'm going to get a deer with my machine, going through the woods. I always have either safety goggles or sunglasses on. You'll notice in my videos a lot of times I have sunglasses on a lot. Anyway, I'm gonna have to edit a lot of this out because I'm just babbling now, but I love this vehicle so far, and this is going to be a long-term vehicle for me. I pinched my pennies together, sold my 18 for a very good price because I only had I had very low hours on it and very low miles. And like I said, I sold that and for cash. And 2 days later, after looking at this once at the dealership that I went to up here in Wisconsin, southeast Wisconsin, I picked this up because it was a 23 they had on the floor. And originally I was just going to get the Pro base model because it looks exactly like this. It also comes in a green. The Pro models come in green and tan, and the Hunting Edition camel. But this one, for the extra, I think it was $800, I paid more. I got the premium wheels, the premium tires. I got the speed limiter / cruise control. And like I said, here's you can see right there, it says set on by holding it, and then decelerate by just pressing it like this. But to turn it on, you just hold it till it beeps, and it'll show you. The one thing I didn't show you was the sport performance mode on this, on the dashboard, and that is done by just hitting the ITC mode right here. It's this button. Hit it right to go out of sport mode, left to go into work mode or performance mode, or sport mode I should say. But it's technically 3 modes. It's a work mode where it's going to gear itself lower for pulling trailers, going slower. Just you'll be able to tell by the torque. And then for trail riding, you put it in sport mode, and it is unreal, the difference between the two when you touch the gas. So far, like I said, I love this machine. I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't. I love the color. That desert tan, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not the only vet that just likes desert tan. I don't know why. We spend enough time over there to where I hated wearing the stuff, but yeah. I love this machine. And for now, me and Ellie are going to say goodbye. We're going to go have a beer. And I hope you all have a great day. And if you remember to, please like and subscribe to my channel. Just one more note I wanted to put out there. I'm not doing this to monetize myself. I'm doing this to help as many veterans as I can, whether that be physically able to get them some help on their property, or if that's just words of encouragement, or seeing about getting a service dog. Before I had her, and in between losing my last dog and getting her, it was a 2-year wait. So don't be surprised if you want to go apply for a service dog after you get approved at a certain place. It could take a while. Luckily, wait times are down a little bit from when I got her. COVID screwed a lot of that stuff up. But she is a great dog. I love her to death. She's my savior. And because of her, I got out today and I went to places I would never go. I went to Target to get a couple things. I had to go to my chiropractor that I see once a week. And she just helps me do it all. And when she's in vest, she's working. And when she's out of vest, she's just a pet. And she's a nutcase. And it's about 63 degrees out here. And it could be 80 degrees. And she'll lay on the pavement instead of the bed I have for her over here. But we're going to sign off. Ellie, front. Say hi to the camera. Ellie, sit. Yes. See, she's a great girl. She listens to everything. She's my ride or die. So with that, say bye, Ellie. All right, she said bye. We'll see you on the next video. And like I said, please, if you like this, like and subscribe. If you've got any ideas for videos that you want me to do, I will do my best to do that. And if you have negative stuff to say, I don't care. Go ahead and say it. Because I've learned to ignore that kind of crap. If you got positive things to say, that's good too. Either way, like or hate me, it's going to be one or the other. And And I will be talking politics in the state of our country on this channel too. So just so you know, I'm a constitutional conservative, and I believe in the Constitution 100%. Even when stuff like the First Amendment, you know, piss me off. Hey, everybody in this country's got a right to say what they want to say. They shouldn't be deplatformed, demonetized, taken off of social media, have other people come up and tell them to shut up or whatever. If people have opinions that aren't yours, instead of arguing with them, just say, hey, have a nice day, and walk away. With that, I will let you go, and I'll see you next time.